fat tire electric bike for extreme sand riding. Today we're gonna take the Hovsco HovAlpha out to the beach here in West LA and rip it through the sands. There's a few reasons why I chose this Hovsco in particular, and I'll explain them along the way. Once we get out there, we're gonna start tinkering with the tire pressure in these fat tires. 4.5 PSI. Oh my goodness, that thing looks flat. And maybe, just maybe, we might fry the motor and controller on this thing along the way. Yeah, it just turned off. It says E8. But I don't know, let's see what happens. So the first reason I chose this e-bike is it's pretty darn fast and I get the top speed using throttle only. And check it out, I brought a tire pump here so we can adjust the tire pressure. We can drop it, we can increase it if needed, and just see how it performs riding on the sand at different PSIs. When you drop the PSI, you can get better traction, you get more like contact surface with the sand or snow, whatever surface you're riding on. Oh no. Oh, I dropped it. Hopefully it still works. So the second reason I chose this e-bike is because it's a step-through frame and we're gonna be getting on and off this thing a lot. It makes it way easier to get rocking and rolling. There are more reasons, but let's go ahead and pop on out here and get rolling. A little bit downhill on some softer sand doing throttle only. You know, one of the major reasons obviously is the Tread tires, and they are 26 inches tall. So the 26-inch tall versus, you know, like a 20-inch tall wheel, these handle better. They just kind of like roll over stuff, including sand or, you know, could be shoes, just really anything. Now the downside of the taller wheels is, you know, they don't put down quite as much torque to the ground, but I think it's going to be plenty. So we'll just kind of see how it holds up. Now riding down here on the soft sand, obviously, you know, it's going to do pretty darn good. Really all you need to ride down here is a 4-inch wide tire, really not even a full 4-inch wide tire, but the real challenge is going to be just to see how it holds up over time, and then we're going to get up here and ride on softer sand here later as we go. So we're starting out about 5 miles into this ride, and there's no indication on here of, you know, how hot the controller is getting or how hot the motor is getting, so we're just going to see how it does. And we're cooking, man, 17 miles an hour on throttle only, so at some point this controller is going to start getting a little bit hot. Not sure what the IPX rating on this is. That would be like the waterproofness. Obviously you don't want to be riding this bike in salt water. I'd say now is a good time. Let's go ahead and crank it down a few gears and get on that throttle and start getting up here on some looser sand and see how it does. Oh yeah, so maybe we should try lowering the tire pressure. Yeah, so up here it's really struggling. It is a 48-volt electric bike. I'm kind of just pressing on the throttle here just a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. So see how it's getting a little squirrely? Like if it was on 20-inch wheels, it would be getting like way more squirrely than that. Gotta watch this string here hang on this kite. We'll go down here, give the motor a little bit of a break. I did throw that suspension seat post on there because there's quite a lot of shock and vibration riding this thing off-road, and this is a hardtail electric bike. So if I did not have that suspension seat post on there, it'd be, you know, sending a lot of that shock up to me. So let's whip back on up here just a little bit, pump it on like gear number 3. Curious how long this thing is gonna hold up. Up here is the Venice Pier. So pretty much we've been going full throttle, and we are photobombing somebody's shot here. And since we got on the sand here, and we're about to get to the Venice Pier. Now this does have the front suspension on here, so that's gonna, you know, help ease a lot of the impact of everything that's coming up through the vibration on the front end of the bike. And then since this is a hardtail e-bike, that does help keep the weight of the bike down. You know, throwing a suspension seat post on there, kind of, you know, it gives your body the suspension, not like the bike the suspension, but, you know, a suspension seat post weighs way less than if you added like a full rear 4-link bar assembly, you know, suspension on the back of an e-bike. So if weight is a concern, might not be a bad move going with just a suspension seat post instead of full suspension e-bike. Looks like there's some sort of movie shot getting set up here. We could be in the movie. So I'm kind of curious. Let's go ahead and stop here and then let out a little bit of air pressure out of the tires. Now you probably can't even see that, but they are at 20 PSI right now, and 20 is the max. So I'm just gonna drop it and then remeasure it. I guess you could run these things like all the way down to like PSI. I'm just using this thing as like a gauge right now. So according to this thing, we are sitting at 14.5 PSI on the rear. Let's give it a try. So here's what we're looking like on 14 or so-ish PSI. Oh yeah, that's got a little more squish in it. Let's see how this sticks. Yeah, better. See how the step-through frame makes it like, kind of makes it like easier if you need to bail and stuff. You just kind of get on and off so easy. 20-inch wheels makes it even easier to get on and off because it brings the whole bike lower to the ground. But that's not what this video is about. So dropping the PSI in the tires gives you more traction and also like a squishier, softer ride. However, it will definitely take away from the lithium ion efficiency. So it's gonna reduce our range, but the ride should be a little bit nicer. So 14 PSI, I feel like it is actually doing a little better. I want to drop it down some more here in a few. Oh, good thing I have that suspension seat post on here. See if we can make it up this little sand hill here. Drop it down to gear 1. Probably got to help it just a little bit. Yes. So quite a torquey bike. Kind of lost my balance there a little bit. So let's see what kind of range we end up getting out of this thing today. I just looked at the range. It was like we're like 6 miles into this ride right now. Obviously I wouldn't expect good numbers on the range, so I'm still holding up. I think I'm gonna actually drop the PSI just a little bit more. I don't even feel like measuring it. I'm just gonna kind of feel it out, drop it. Like, I don't know, that's starting to feel pretty squishy. There's actually so many kids and stuff over here. I'm just gonna smash on through it. Go out to the bike path here just for a minute. Oh yeah, dude, I feel like dropping that PSI genuinely gives it like more grip and helps it go better. Whew. Once you get away from that ocean breeze, man, it's like hot over here. All that sun reflecting off the sand. Oh wow, yeah, that tire is feeling like way more squishy now. Definitely gonna reduce our range. So let's go ahead and zigzag through the traffic here and go up our favorite little hill. Get into it. I'm pedaling just a little bit to help it. Man, it's interesting riding around though with that tire so low PSI. Totally changes the ride feel. And we have the fenders on there in case we run over any dog doo-doo, which is a very real possibility over here. Whoa. So we're gonna blaze on through right about here, see if we can make it back on out all the way to the ocean. So this soft sand is like super challenging. It's like a little bit uphill into a headwind. So step through frame here comes in handy getting off here. I'm gonna push it up to the top of this hill. Probably can't even really tell it's a hill. All right, let's give it a rip from here. Now this slightly downhill, still a little headwind, but makes all the difference. I don't know if we need to lower the PSI anymore or not, man. Gear 1. Whew. I'm gonna have to push it a little bit more. Yeah, it just turned off. It says E8. I didn't ring the manual, but I'm guessing that means too hot. It has a little wrench on there. 8 miles. So it looks like about 7 miles and 16 minutes into this ride. Probably about 3 miles of sand riding here before we got our first overheat error. So let's let it cool down here a little bit before we break it. Let's see how hot it is. Got a little bit of heat. It's actually not too bad. So maybe it's the controller getting a little warm in there. But just turning it off and back on immediately, it'll give you power like right away. But I'm guessing we're gonna have to let it chill out before we ride it too much more. So current PSI is reading 10. Let's drop it a little bit more. I think we can safely drop it down to like at least, that's feeling pretty squishy though, dude. Oh no, don't put air in. Not yet. That's 11.5 it says. I don't know how accurate it is, but we'll roll with it. So here is what 11.5 PSI is looking like on the rear. Oh yeah, that could drop down even more. I'm scared the tires are gonna pop off the bead though. So it's been just a few minutes here. Let's get back off to the races and see how long this motor and controller holds up today. Oh yeah, let's run this tire track here. We get moving along. Now, if I remember correctly, you're gonna see that screen. My display is gonna be like flickering a little bit. That is just due to the GoPro. It doesn't actually flicker to your eyes. Yeah, dude, we gotta get down here. I really need to drop that seat post so I can reach the ground. This is more of a challenge than I thought it was gonna be. Obviously, you know, a dual motor e-bike is gonna do best riding on the sand. This is really kind of just like a stress test to see, you know, how well this one holds up. I feel like that back end is feeling like a little bit more squirmy now with like the PSI dropped to 11.5 currently. Oh, controller turned off again, E8. So it is actually a good thing that these controllers turn off, because if they didn't, it would just like let you burn up the motor and controller. So this video hopefully will give you just a little bit of an idea of how hard you can push these things before they just stop working. I'm gonna turn it off, turn it back on. Let's just roll. Another reason why I chose this bike is because it has a torque sensor, which helps you like control how much power you're giving it. A lot of times like the throttles are really difficult to control how much power you're actually inputting to the motor, whereas the torque sensor, it, you know, it gives you power based in proportion to how hard you're pressing on the pedals. So you can just bump it on down to like, you know, pedal assist 3 and just put in like a little bit of effort, and it's only going to give like a fraction of the power to the motor controller. So if you get yourself in a situation where you're overheating your motor because you're hooning on the sand, you can throw that torque sensor on. And down here in the hard pack sand, we're doing a lot better. Better not get up there in that loose sand per minute. I feel like this thing is like operating at like the verge of, you know, like its heat capacity at the moment. Whoops, that wave just went way higher than I was expecting. A little bit of a water test only on the tires. All right, so I let this thing cool down for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or something. We're gonna keep it rolling. This doggy has an anchor. What is he doing? Let's see if we can get up this hill a little bit here. Oh yeah, now that we're cooled down a little bit, the controller's cooled down a little bit. It's like it outputs a little bit more power, or maybe because the air pressure has dropped. So for a class 3 electric bike, this is, you know, pretty decent option. Pretty good torque, pretty good battery size, 48 volt, 20 amp hour. Let's right up here on the soft sand a little bit. So if you are thinking about grabbing one of these, I do have a discount link down below the video in the description box. Oh gosh, I thought there was an area there to get back to. Oh, nope, there's not a ramp. Just a lifeguard station. It's good that's easy to get on and off. Step throughs are way more convenient. Although people do say that, you know, there's frame flex. I've never really found it to be an issue personally. Pulling 13 miles an hour. See how long it takes for this controller to get a little bit too hot again. I'm gonna start pedaling it so it gives it, you know, maybe like half power or something like that instead of full power. It's really like when you're running it, like holding the throttle down, just absolutely hammering it for like minutes and minutes and minutes. That's when your controller is gonna overheat. Is this where the ramp is? There's gotta be a ramp here. It's like wherever the ramps are that come out here is where all the people are. This thing's definitely holding its own, man. Out here whipping pretty good. Got a police truck right on out there. Let's go ahead and drop the PSI a little bit more. I'm nervous that the bead is gonna pop off the rim though at some point. I guess you can run these things pretty low though. Let's see what this says. That's registering 9 PSI. That's pretty low, man. Let's make it 8.5 actually. All right, chilling on 8.5 PSI. Let's see how it rolls. So another reason why I chose this bike is it has the double wall chain guard up front, which will help keep the chain on there. Sometimes, you know, if it only has like a single wall chain guard, the chain will be more likely to pop off. Oh my goodness, look at the hole right there somebody dug for me. Little booby trap buried out here to bury me. Ooh. So I don't know, man, am I getting more grip or not? Like, I kind of feel like I am, but also that I don't necessarily need more grip. That tire's looking a little bit squishy back there. I'm gonna try and come up here, get out of the way of these people right up this wall just a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, this thing's riding nice now. I like maybe I should try lowering the PSI on the front wheel too. It would help give me a little better steering. But I feel like these 26-inch tires do pretty good for steering on the knobby tread tires. What is happening over here? This looks like a dirt bike track, dude. Maybe we should try and hit some features here. Whoa, whoa, oh my goodness. That was actually like way more fun than I thought it was gonna be. There's no way we're gonna make it up this hill. What happened over here? Whoa. Losing control, bro. Oh, I need to drop that seat a little bit. All right, full throttle. So it looks like controller is back in business. It hasn't overheated on me ever since that initial like 10 or 15 minutes of like full throttle. Well, I don't know if that's the exact time, but I was hammering it for a while. Police is coming for me, bro, in the chopper. Whoa. Yeah, I think we're starting to get a little reduced power here. Whoa. No, maybe not actually. We're cool, we're good to go. I'm gonna use the torque sensor pedal assist system now. Keep it rolling here without giving it too much power. I'd say 9 miles an hour is probably plenty enough on the speed. And to go 16 or whatever, oh yeah, we got a E8, so overheated again after hammering it through all that stuff out there. What are you gonna do? So here's what it's looking like with PSI 8.5 on the rear. Definitely got a little bit of squish to it there, but we could go lower. I think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe drop it down to like 6 or something. I feel like that's getting pretty darn soft. So now we are reading 6.5 PSI, and this thing is getting darn soft, man. Let's give it a try. Dude, that's the guy that's digging the holes right there. What the heck? I guess it's good exercise. All right, so PSI is 6.5. Let's see how it handles now. And there's like so many kids and stuff here. We're just gonna go straight up this way and try and exit this area right over here by the pier. There's just like so many people everywhere, and I dropped this down a gear or two, and man, I actually feel like it might be actually getting a little better grip, but we have quite a bit of sand to make it through here before we get back to the path over here, like the pedal path. It'll be interesting to see what these tires look like and feel like riding on the actual hard ground over here. This thing's cooking right on through here, man. I think I'm gonna let up that throttle though and use the torque sensor, because we don't need to be going this fast, and we're gonna make the motor controller get hot again. Whew. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, it feels like I'm riding on a flat. The tire's so low right now. I'm so thirsty, but we're over by the pier, so it's probably gonna cost me a fortune for water. Might as well get a 50 up. All right, let's see what we can do. See if anybody has a water. Do you have water? Water? Yeah, water. $3? Yeah. All right, cool. Just one? Yeah, just one, please. There you go. Thank you. Not the cheapest water I've ever got, but I'll take it. Now let's drop it on down to, I don't know, dude. I'm getting nervous. See how low we can get this thing. I mean, that's like pretty empty, dude. I think I'm gonna try like 4 or something like that. That says 5. I don't even know if we can accurately measure at this level though. Dude, that is like so empty. 4.5 PSI. So I mean, that is pretty freaking low. 4.5 PSI. Let's see what it rides like. Actually, I want to sit on it first and see what it looks like even when I sit on it. All right, so hopping on this thing at 4.5 PSI. Oh my goodness, that thing looks flat. Wow, holy crap, dude. Yeah, let's give that a try. So I'm gonna try riding this thing at 4.5 PSI and see how it does. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell if there's any difference or not, honestly, at this point. It feels like it's a little more bouncy for sure. I can definitely tell when I'm on this kind of ground, on hard ground, it definitely is like just basically riding. Like I pretty much have a flat tire, but the idea is, yeah, you can get better traction riding on sand. Although I don't know if traction is like really the limiting point on this bike. So let's see what it's like riding this thing at 4.5 or 4 PSI, whatever it is. Doesn't seem like it'd be safe to be going at high speeds on this low PSI. Yeah, it's a weird feeling, man. It's like riding on a flat tire almost. It makes a lot more noise. I'm sure it's generating a lot more heat as it's like rolling around and how the tire deforms as it rolls. So obviously, you know, you're losing energy from that heat loss, as well as more rolling resistance. So let's go right out here and see what's happening with the camping situation, see if we can, how it rides on this flat sand here. We're killing it. Now that the motor has had a chance to kind of cool down, the controller has had a chance to cool down. Looks like somebody's getting a camping violation. You know, I feel like it is actually doing a little better, rolling on 4.5 PSI instead of 20. Let's see what happens if we go through this rough section, man. Oh, I hope I don't get a pinch flat, because there is an inner tube on this tire. Oh gosh, this wave's coming for me. Oh yeah, if I would have went, I would have got ran over by that wave. You can get a pinch flat, you know, because there's an inner tube in there. And if the rim smashes the, oh gosh. Hey, there's our tracks from earlier. Let's see if we can get over it going this way. Whoa, buddy. So it's called a snake bite. If the tire squishes down too far, then it'll pinch the inner tube, and it's called a snake bite. I'll give you a flat tire, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But hey man, I actually feel like this thing is actually doing better when it's running on 4.5 PSI. Now, it'll be interesting to see where the range ends up, because yeah, this thing is definitely doing better, I feel like, rolling on lower PSI. Yeah, this is absolutely decimating our range, no question about it. Whew. Wow, this is some really soft sand right here. Controller's still holding up though. It's not bursting into flames or anything yet. So if you're thinking about getting this electric bike, if you click on that link down below the video in the description box, they'll give you the best price on it and also help support my reviews here on Tail Happy TV. I think it's listed for about $1,700 right now at the time of this recording. Any sort of discount I can offer you will be linked below the video in the description. Overall, you know, this thing is a pretty solid riding fat tire electric bike for what it is. 48 volt, 20 amp hour, pretty long range. It's got a nice torque sensor on it. This one has a nice step through frame, but if you're not into the step through thing, they also make it in a high step, basically same exact bike, just slightly different frame. So a pretty solid bike. Let's head on home, take final range. And I'm basically just gonna put this thing on pedal assist 5 and use a combination of the throttle as well as the torque sensor, and basically just ride this thing back all along the sand here and see how the 4.5 PSI does. Maybe I should lower that front tire too a little bit. I don't really feel like I'm struggling with traction on the front at all though. Watch your sails, birdies. So right now I'm just using the torque sensor, pedaling along, giving it just like a little bit of input, but not like a ton. Let's tackle this hill right here and try getting on the softer sand with the 4.5 PSI, see how it does. Yeah, this thing it's definitely doing a little better running like 4 PSI. So I'm pretty curious to see where we're gonna land on range, because we're at 11.8 miles right now, and it's been almost entirely sand riding, but we're gonna have to take a little shortcut right through here because there's just way too many rocks and water and stuff over there. So I've been riding consistently at this speed pretty much for about 15 minutes now, and the motor or controller has not turned off on me at all. I'm just kind of turning my legs, helping it just a little bit, and as long as I stay down here on the more, you know, hard packed area and don't get way too up into soft stuff and go absolutely ham with throttle, it holds up just fine. I feel like I could just keep doing this forever. Well, I mean, until the battery dies. But speaking of battery, let's take a look at that here in just a few when we get to the end from where we started from. So just rolling up to the finish line here, and I would like to point out the chain never fell off one time while riding this thing, and it is a 750 watt nominal motor, so the reason why it turns off is because basically running over 750 watts for a consistent amount of time causes things to, you know, heat up, and it's really just a mechanism to protect the bike. Got a little bit of sand and whew, some good stuff going on in them brakes. You really shouldn't be riding your bike on sand, but hey, this channel's for fun. So we're sitting at 13.75 miles an hour, 15 minutes ride time, average speed, a little bit slower obviously on sand. Now about 5 of that was before we got here to the beach, and we are showing 1 bar flashing. So obviously, yeah, you're not gonna get great range doing this sort of stuff, running on 4.5 psi riding in sand. Anyway, Hovsco HovAlpha, pretty darn good step through fat tire electric bike, class 3 style. So if you want to grab one, buy it through the link down below the video in the description box. It'll get you the best price and also help support my reviews on Hobby TV. However, if this is not the kind of bike you're looking for, watch this video next though. And I'm gonna bring that back up to 20 psi. Actually, after getting off the sand, that voltage recovered a little bit. It's shoving 2 out of 5 bars, which it'll get us home, probably. Let's find out. State of charge is definitely on its last leg, showing no bars there on the display. Oh, well, Ducky and her... Oh my goodness, that's not a safe place to be, bro. And in case you're wondering, we did do 18 miles on the dot today, hour 46 minutes ride time, 10 mile an hour, average speed 10.17, and the battery is effectively dead, although it does save just a little bit of juice in there. Like, it shows 0 bars, but like, it still gives you like a little tiny bit of help just to kind of help get you home in case you know. Anyway, dudes, catch you next time.